Hell, he's 5-4 at Lambeau, and he's been a favorite, I think, in all 9. He's not as daring in crisis as players like Burrow and Mahomes and Stafford are. And Allen, he's not as daring. He starts playing safe. And I believe it all comes down to relationships. This has always been my theory on Aaron, who has fought with his own family. Guys like Brady are all about relationships. They make stuff work. Tom gets along with everybody. I know a dozen people who Tom still today, football coaches, assistants, players, is still in touch with. He's a relationship guy. And what happens? Relationships are about trusting and elevating others and giving of yourself. Tom's optimistic. He'll make it work. Aaron is cynical by nature, not trusting. I mean, good God, after Mercedes Lewis fumbled, Aaron changed. Oh, I'm a victim again. Damn! Teammates aren't there for me. The next 2 drives, 3 and out, played it safe, no yards. Niners defense is good. It ain't that good. Aaron has privately criticized the Packers' inability privately, like they can't build a defense. Brady's got a defense. Look at these guys got a defense. If you just give me a great defense. That defense Saturday night for Green Bay was fantastic. And they were really good all year. Don't blame the defense. They got an interior lineman that's great, linebackers, safeties, corners. It's an excellent defense by Green Bay. You're at home. Be daring. Oh! Joe Burrow's getting a you-know-what kicked out of him for 3.5 hours. Doesn't care. Downfield. Stafford's team is melting around him. Doesn't care. Downfield. All these quarterbacks, down the field. Stop playing safe. Protecting a legacy. Because they have relationships. Aaron doesn't have any. And the minute things go sideways, I've said for years, he is a bailer. Damn! Not a baller. The last guy you want in a foxhole. Mercedes Lewis fumbled. Aaron changed. 3 and outs. Not throwing downfield. 21 of his 29 completions were to 2 people, Davante Adams and a running back. Aaron Jones and Davante Adams are his 2 targets. Dude, you've had all these wide receivers around you for 4 years. You don't have another trusting relationship? There's video evidence multiple times, especially that throw down the field to Davante. He had other people open. But in order to throw those balls, you have to trust people, not be cynical. Put your arms around people. Tom Brady got Julian Edelman, and everybody else had Julio Jones and Larry Fitzgerald and Marvin Harrison, and Belichick gives Brady Julian Edelman, a quarterback at a Kent State. And Tom, it didn't work for 2 years. And Tom just kept grinding and grinding, glass half full. I'm going to make Edelman work. And 4 years later, you looked up and went, damn, he's like a stronger Wes Welker. Do you know the time and the trust you had to put into that relationship? Tom Brady could have been cynical. Matt Ryan's got Julio Jones. I got a college quarterback in the 6th round out of Kent State. But that's the difference. You can't do it alone. You can't always be cynical. You can't be a bailer. Damn! We have evidence now. You can go look up the stats. If Aaron trails in the 4th quarter against a winning team, even at home, game over. That's not what he does. Stafford had the world collapsing. Mahomes was... Can you imagine being on the sideline with Mahomes? And Josh Allen brings that thing down the field and scores, and you look up at that clock, and Mahomes is like, challenge, box, check. Let's go. Stop blaming special teams. Oh! Stop blaming other people. Oh! Be better at creating relationships, because this sport is all about trust. You got to trust your left tackle if you're a quarterback and your center. You got to trust your defense. You got to trust your coaches. You got to trust your coordinators. And you got to trust somebody beyond Davante Adams. Yes, he's great. Can't do it with one receiver. The Rams have 4 guys now. Stafford gets OBJ, and an hour later they have a relationship. An hour later. I mean, AB, Brady's made Moss work when everybody said he couldn't work. He made AB work. He made Edelman work. In an hour, he made Mike Evans work, and Chris Godwin work, and Scotty Miller work, and Tyler Johnson work. That's what happens when you're into relationships and building them and enhancing things. After the game, Aaron Rodgers, I don't even want the quote, but he went out and said, hey, I'm not going to stay here if there's a rebuild. Oh, my God.
I'm not going to stay here if there's a rebuild.
I'm above a rebuild. First of all, Green Bay's not rebuilding. They're going to have to move some pieces to make it work, and they should bring Aaron back. Can you stop with the I am above a rebuild? Not really. Not at this point, because you're not as good as Mahomes. Oh! And you're not as good as Josh Allen. Oh! And I don't think you're as coachable as Justin Herbert, and you don't have the resumes of Tom Brady.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go take my throne, because I'm a shoo-in for Hater of the Year.
You may want to stick around for that rebuild. And it's not really a rebuild. But again, it was the classic, I'm above it. I am above a rebuild. Not really, bro. Damn! You're 5-4 at Lambeau, a favorite, I think, in 8 of 9 or 9 in 9 games. Oh, damn!